Number 10, boys. Special occasion. I'm wearing not a hoodie. I'm trying different lights because I'm that asshole that's still, trying to hide a fucking pimple here. What are we doing?
I'm wearing a t-shirt with Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference on it, but I'm only wearing it because I can again. I'm gaining access to shirts that didn't fit before, so nice. I unlocked it like a skin.
I'm proud of you, buddy. That's great. What's your grand total at right now?
As of today, coincidentally, Wednesdays are my weigh-in days where I have to send a picture from my app weigh-in to Kevin to track it.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to end differently.
For my dick, and he's like, "Yeah, you're still fat."
Yeah.
No, I have to get on my scale.
I can see some girth. Are you trying to get a six pack on your dicks? You know how weird that will look,
dude.
Like, yeah, I know a six pack's impressive, but on your dick, that's
dick
unnecessary.
Abs are the way to go. They're ribbed, and then your dick can do sit-ups while it's in there. Like,
yeah, but what if it's off to the side, like at a weird angle? It's conical, like it's a but like what if it's off to the side? That would just looks like warts from a distance.
The dick's just fucking and you're not. It's like, You're like, dude, Tom, sorry.
Think about the smegma
right now.
But regardless, today's the day. My scale is a little Bluetooth and has an app that tracks all your stuff. And I take a screenshot of that week to week to send to Kevin because I do remote training so he can track the body fat, the actual whatever. But today was 184 point low, trying to get down to 170. I started almost at 240. So
holy shit, dude! Congratulations.
I started recording this. If you go back our first recordings, I was 220 or 30 still. Oh. So if we release them in a weird order, or you go back and edit those weird ones, you'll have like a funky sequence of my face.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. That's great.
And wear shirts and pants that I didn't, because that was the thing I always joke about, is you get to that point where you have to be like, well, I'm either fat or I have to stop. Like,
yeah.
I can't afford new clothes.
Right. I either have to embrace fat clothes and just say, I'm fat now, fat guy life for me now.
Or I got to be that guy with the man fupa like sticking out under the shirt, I got to make that choice.
The weird that it's when you get fat, but you're egg-shaped under the belt. That's where you're like, okay, now it looks like Dr. Robotnik. Like, what do I do?
That's an issue where like you get like it looks like your balls are just swollen.
Right, because your genitals like get pulled. Like as you get fatter, they get like sucked in.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing they don't talk about when they talk about advantage to weight loss. Losing weight makes your dick bigger.
Absolutely.
Just your fact, like.
Yeah.
Because you're peeling back, but you're like, hey, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I knew it was in there somewhere.
You get the trimmers out for the first time in forever, and you're just like,
you turn into it's like the
like, where's the bulb to
like
prime it? I need to
magnify the X-ray square goes over and it grows 3 times. They say in Whoville, the Grinch's dick grew 3 times. And all the people in Whoville are like, dude, stop.
It's too big.
It's got to go.
I can't.
Like,
keep singing your Christmas songs.
We miss you out of his terrorist. All right. He was the Osama bin Laden for Whoville. You know that, right? Like he was like
also
he was up in the mountains.
Yeah.
He kind of comes out occasionally, but he goes and hides in the mountains.
Speaking of Christmas and stuff. My email gave me a year 2020 reality check I wasn't ready for. Because you know how time has lost all meaning for the past several months?
Yeah.
Some store, I think it was Kohl's or something, had the audacity to send me their promo email letting me know about their Black Friday deals. I was like, we're already we have to worry about Black Friday in Corona times now? I forgot Black Friday was on the table.
Yeah.
We're already there? Fuck.
Yeah, that's going to be actually that is a pro, I think, of the coronavirus. Is I think Black Friday, it'll still be stupid and prepare for all of those stupid fucking articles about a bunch of dipshits getting like 80 new cases out of Walmart trying to get a TV.
I got a new TV.
That'll happen, but it will be less than it's been in previous years, more online.
Yeah, I just forgot. Like I was so because they start giving you that stuff a month and a half in advance, and I just wasn't braced for my brain to be to Black Friday because I'm still like, coming down. Halloween's my favorite time of year. I'm still coming down from that a little bit. And like,
I know, man. I had a blast, and it's just like, I wanted to keep going.
I wasn't ready for all that. And then I'm kind of used to hitting the holidays early because for a while I worked doing retail merchandising for Hallmark. And so I had to reset all their sections in stores. And so you're setting up Christmas in fucking August or whatever. Yeah. And as soon as you see those boxes show up, you're like, motherfucker. Like, it's got the red or green tape on it. Like, and all of them are like that. Halloween comes in the back of the store, like towards the end of August or whatever. Yeah. And then I get so used to that. Like, oh yeah, the holiday's coming. The dread that comes with it.
Yep.
But yeah, I just wasn't ready I forgot about Black Friday in Corona world.
This year we said we're not doing Thanksgiving with people. Like we'll do maybe, but we have never in this house never had our own Thanksgiving here. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's just like, yeah, let's just do it here. Takes out the stress of
yeah. And then
it gives me the confidence to say no, I'm not coming over. And relieving all of that stress, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know what seeing which monitor or putting you guys on makes me look at the camera better. I might be in Kansas City either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't know which.
Oh, you should plan. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to step on you real quick. Plan for Christmas because me and the lady are coming out for Christmas.
The plan is somewhat not in my hands. It's in my dad's hands because he's trying to extract family from Texas also to get everyone in one spot.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
It may also be a Texas visit. I don't know, but he's trying to thread all that together. So I might be in town sometime.
Cool.
Big maybe. Maybe I'll have a round table recording sometime in December and I'll be in the same room or something.
Yeah. No,
yeah, you have to oil up and show us your abs by that point.
Oh, I'll work on that.
Yeah, you're going to show us. Yeah, we're going to do that.
They're like, why are you using olive oil? Like, I just got some Pennzoil. I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah, I was going to look.
It's gross. Got some 10W40.
There.
I think this is all that shit at the bottom of the bag, the Orville Redenbacher bag.
You know what's weird about popcorn? I know this is transition. This doesn't make sense, but did you know, like, if you look at a popcorn here, I'm gonna actually give you facts. You guys aren't gonna fucking believe me, but I'm gonna fucking give it to you right now. The calories in popcorn actually goes down significantly after you pop it. Like calories. Give me 1 second. I'll show you right now.
We both agreed with you and knew that already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
But yeah, you want to wow us by your reading skills, reading shit that I've already Googled before.
It's also because the serving size changes because a cup of seeds is significantly more than a cup of popped popcorn because it is bigger.
But it's also filling because corn in and of itself, like we're getting this is all about agriculture this episode. Corn is kind of it's a filler. That's what, cows eat. Like, it's filler food. Like the the caloric, like what you benefit from it is you're just kind of buying time. It's
starchier because it's got a lot of natural sugar to it. So it's one of the starchier of the staple crops. Like, it airs on Hi, welcome to the Fairweather Friends podcast. I'm Matt. This is Brannan and Jason. We're talking about the band Corn and its sugar content. Let's talk about music and staple crops with similar names. You're up. Give me one for wheat.
Kansas?
Solid. I don't know if that counts. Kind of a slant rhyme at best. Corn stealing corn is the only one that counts. Brannan, rice.
I didn't hear what you said, but I just wanted to say corn. What are we doing rice? Uncle
Red
Ben?
Hot Chili Peppers.
Hi, welcome to the Fairweather Friends podcast. I'm Matt, Jason, and Brannan. We're going with a different topic. I saw Brannan did it again. I watched the episode. Went up, had to break out a face like, who here knows pedophiles? And I saw Jason's face again.
But it was a slow.
Yeah, I saw it again. Like,
what the fuck you say?
I wasn't even trying to I was just trying to be like, it was more.
It's hard to just not bring it up. We have countless episodes where we don't mention spaceships. Like, it's so hard to not bring something up. And I laughed so hard at it because I could see Jason again go. It's just like,
do you guys know any? And I thought, because I was waiting for it. Like, you'd have some.
It's like, do you guys know any diddlers or something like that?
Yeah, that's just not a normal topic to just like, hey, like murderers. It's like, ooh, like it's like, oh, that's crazy, and like within the realm of possibility, that's not that awkward to talk about. Like, isn't that weird? Like, you would rather hang out with a murderer than a right?
Yeah. Murderers can have better reasons for it.
I was like, I can see myself under those circumstances. Yeah. I get it.
Like, because you murder, like, why do you do that? Like, dude fucking was fucking with me, so I killed him. Like, all right, I get that tracks. Now they're like, why did you do it? Kids are hot. Like, no, they're not.
No.
You can tell murdering is way cooler because it's the only time that like someone can say it was a crime of passion. Like you can never be like a pedophile. It was a crime of passion. They're like, whoa.
Yeah, more things need to like, why are you littering? Crime of passion, man. Love of the game.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to arrest you for premeditated pedophilia. You're like, yeah, of course it's premeditated. But I didn't bring it up this time. That was technically Matt.
I wasn't here last time.
Yeah, but you doubled down, man. You went all in on that. You
broached the topic. Who here had diddlers around or met diddler or something like that? Because then you changed it to who knows murderers to talk about the one story.
Oh no, I'm not talking about.
Which was a good story about who could have guessed. Like we all could have guessed. I knew.
Everybody would have been like, yeah, that tracks. It's either going to be a priest or that. It's like this is the two routes.
No, but like I meant more like for this episode. Like I will give you my scout's honor moving forward to no longer bring up a topic that you guys don't approve of.
I just think it's every time I see Jason's response to it, like, because I'm whatever to it, but I could just, and then I just feel like, because there's things you casually reference, anybody has your handful of topics your brain connects to but one of your favorite things to connect and loop to is always comparing to pedophilia or pedophile, like something happened. That would be like if a pedophile did this, like you always bring it to that when trying to grasp a similar crime to the topic at hand. Like,
well, it's the only way for me. It's I'm not saying that it's funny, but like it is hilarious knowing that there are like cartoony characters that evil out there in this. It was like literally what I was saying. Like, yeah, it's like Dick Dastardly out there. You're like, that's not a real person. Like when I hear someone like about like being like they're a pedophile, I'm like, that's not a real person. Like that's a creative. That's someone you made on Skyrim. Like that, like no pedophiles are just created. Like you make them in a game, and then like they actually somehow like. You ever see that episode of like Treehouse of Horror where Homer Simpson gets into the real world? That kind of is what happens in my view, because like I just don't understand how like
it's so wild that you can't believe it's real.
Yeah, basically that. Yes.
And then you just pick it up to justify that goatee.
Well, because I also know just from what I've learned from these shows getting together is also something. And one, it's a YouTube thing because there are certain topics YouTube just doesn't like me. But I know it's something Jason's uncomfortable with in general because even we were watching the dumb lazy boy video when it got to the part about the creepy uncle. He was like, "We're gonna just fast forward to this part where they role play the uncle advancing on the little girl."
Yeah, I'm like, that's like wild ass shit. Like they sat down and wrote a script.
Yeah, they're like made.
It's implied by the name.
Audition for this, and then cast
and it's implied what the topic is about because that's what the fucking words are on the cassette cover. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to see the thing in action. Like I get what the concept is.
An actual pedophile shouldn't be able to use it as a playbook.
Noted.
Like you're able to watch and be like, nice, good moves.
Yeah, I don't need it played out. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was unnecessary.
Then we were joking about how the setting of that video was the uncle, and they were at the mom's house, and the mom was home. She was like, go upstairs and tell what's her name, dinner's in an hour, and he's like, got an hour, huh? All right. And he goes upstairs and starts putting the moves on. Like, they're home. Well, how is this gonna work?
And also, what makes you think you're just gonna hang out for an hour?
And you're just gonna come down for dinner with everybody, like, oh, pork chops are done. Oh, yeah.
I have a child, and at that age, I didn't want to hang out for an hour unless she was napping.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the last episode, we now know who the president-elect is.
It's funny. I was joking. I wasn't able to participate in the post-election one, but now it's still basically a post-election. I mean, it's still.
But I told you shit was going to get crazy. That's why I'm like, okay.
Well, it's funny
this day, but I'm still like cautiously like I'm like I know what's coming around the corner. It's going to be a shit show for the next several months.
What's funny is this is actually.
Oh, sorry, real quick, Matt. Before, sorry, I just want to say this one thing and you can go. For those who are watching the show, Matt wasn't here last week because he was so disheartened by Donald Trump winning, so he cried himself and just couldn't be on the episode. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
We actually filmed it the day. It don't matter. Now, what's funny is this is how long the elections take when this many people vote. No, whenever you see the winner on election night, that's still the projected winner. They still don't finalize it for weeks after. It's just there's never this many mail-in votes that it's relevant. Right. They're like, we spend the rest of the time counting the last 5,000. This is how long it would take if everyone this is what it's supposed to look like, by the way.
Right.
This is just how it happens. When double the people vote, and then you have a system where people can. What was it? Something like double the number of people from last year of actual voters voting. And then when that much is by mail.
Well, plus because mail-in ballots and all that was made a lot easier.
Right.
Because you see the shit they try to railroad,
because I'm in Georgia,
the legislation they try to
I was one of the 6 people that helped flip it blue.
Hey, good job.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, and then suppressing black voters and all of those people into arenas and bullshit. They have to didn't Arrowhead? I think Arrowhead was we're gonna be a polling place because fuck that. That's clear evidence of the thing not working. It's
right. The fact
so
that
apparent.
The fact that we can't all vote on our phone electronically is an indictment of the system. You can use they'll send you your tax refund through the phone, through funding online banking. Banks handle it. Your federal military information goes over to their own internet servers and shit. But they're like, oh, someone could fuck with the vote. Eat your own ass.
Yeah.
You know what you can also do? Make the post office not work. So,
but also, is it really fucking with the vote? Because isn't it technically fucking with the vote already when there's bots and shit controlling people's brains? That's fucking with the vote because they're not.
Yeah, the fact that we all can't.
We splitting hairs here. It's all.
The fact we all can't just pull up our phone, be like, oh, it's day for phone app vote day. Click this guy, send.
You have a security code, thumbprint, some identifier.
Just whatever. My phone looks at my face to unlock and recognizes my fucking face to access my
Tomorrow
thing.
I'm going to get ads about fucking all of Brandon's diddler comments.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. And you guys order stuff online way more than I do. If I search one thing on Amazon, I get ads for it for the rest of my life. I was like, I bought it though. I bought it. Yeah. Stop sending me ads. That was a joke I used to do, old stand-up bit that never went anywhere that I scratched out of my notebook at one point about. I tried ordering the dick pills once just so they'd stop sending me the emails. And now they're still advertising to me. It's I bought them.
I got them.
You don't have to tell me anymore.
We're done.
Got it. Dick pills. Bought them. Here's the bottle. Left a review, man.
What do you need from me?
3.5-star product. You don't have to keep letting me know you're there. Coca-Cola, stop it. I know. But yeah, so we're still post-election because it's hilarious now. I was telling Brannan, the election's over, but we just have to deal with now 2 months of Donald Trump, the most insane Hail Marys. It was I've passed an executive order. It's illegal for the president's last name to start with the letter B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody buying? Anybody buy that? Damn it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's already
crazy scheme every week.
He's already fired a bunch of the Department of Justice people and put in his own croonies in there. So he's setting that up.
Cases out like crazy.
Yeah.
None of them are going to go anywhere. Everything, even the places he's put in suits and tried to do things, they won't even if he won them all, it wouldn't still constitute enough to give him the electoral votes.
Yeah.
It's just yelling at nothing at this point and embarrassing.
It's just confusing and dividing people, and
he's just the worst person, and he's a gay baby. So
yeah. On that note, here's the move. Here's the coup de grace that he's going to do on his way out. Right? They have a cure for coronavirus, a vaccine. It's like a master vaccine, right? There's one. They got to make copies of it, right? Like a master album,
Yeah.
He's got
the original.
He weasels his way in there, he gets security clearance, injects it. It's done. And the only way that you're going to get cured is you got to pledge your allegiance, take a knee, and blow him. what I just said, would you even be surprised if that was on the news tomorrow?
I mean,
From
no,
all the
but he's
crazy shit
also,
we've been
the
through.
problem is we're all smarter than him, so he doesn't come up with fun ideas like that. He's not creative or cunning enough to come up with ideas with character. He's just like, I have cure, I swallowed it. When, like, he doesn't know how to be like, how do I craft a Machiavellian way for it to play out? He's just like, I threw it in the trash, derp. He's just one level. He's too blunt and stupid. He's not a Dracula. And that's the problem with the big threat of Donald Trump is he's paved the way for someone who has the same cult of personality and the same ability to rile up the worst in everyone, but is also not a fucking moron. Because a Dracula president's coming based on he wrote the playbook for someone. The problem with Donald Trump is he's too stupid not to tell everyone the evil he was doing.
Right.
Soon, someone that evil and that unscrupulous, but also not a fucking retard to not just record everything. Because his people got caught because they went, hello, China, would you like to do crime on government phones that were recorded? And they're like, yeah, we found. He's like, who leaked that?
Yeah,
the problem is
my daughter was playing a game on her phone and recorded it. Like, are you like? He
just hired the biggest, dumbest idiots for every position. Like a guy who's that evil but not stupid is going to come along and use his playbook and ruin
it.
Everything.
Already happened, or it already is kind of happening. It's basically all we do in these things. We all know we're getting fucked. It's just we just vote for how we want to get fucked. Basically, do we want it rough and dumb? Like,
I mean,
squirt on your titties.
If we have to have
finesse,
if we have to have a fucking like Dracula dictator, I just want someone who, if they're gonna tweet everything, doesn't miss the night of the goddamn night of the election. He tweeted something and he talked about the polls and spelled it POLES. Like,
it was a Polish joke.
Hell yeah.
Every day, he's always got stuff just spelled so wrong. It's like, I'm surprised he doesn't have like backwards letters, like it's the Toys R Us sign on his tweets. Vladimir Putin is an evil, tyrannical monster, but at least knows how to not look like a fucking dipshit about it.
Well, that's debatable because then like you get so. Because Putin's just gotten so.
I'm not saying he looks cool. He just doesn't look like he rides a bear with no shirt on. That's
like he rides a bear. Then like my favorite thing about Putin too is like he like yearly he plays like a hockey game, and like they like the hockey. Yeah, like he plays like hockey against like.
Well, that's because he's deep in the propaganda stuff where you do shit like that.
You pump iron.
Yeah, you wrote 10,000 on all the weights.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm curling 10,000 pounds on each arm.
He is permanently in 7th grade. Like he's but
like they let him score like 8 goals or like some record.
Well,
and,
of course, it's all stacked in his favor. He's like, because if you don't, you get murdered.
Yeah,
you just disappear in the night.
I just wish Trump would do that. Like Trump's like, I ran for 18,000 yards this season.
He tries to, but we're not at that level of indoctrination where we buy it. Like when he had a doctor write him an obviously forged report that said he was like, yeah, I'm not 700 pounds. He's like,
yeah, but have you seen that doctor? That fucking weird ass,
well, I know,
like,
but
with
it's
this
like
fucking little Fauntleroy hair, well. Like, but he's like 90. He's 90 years old with like not salt and pepper, but like orange, whatever, like that fucking doctor. I'm like, fuck that.
He doesn't know how to present wrong information in a way that can work because he's too self-absorbed to not also be amazing. He always has to like, I got my high school diploma. It said I got an A++ in every class. Like that's a made up grade. Give yourself a 3.1 GPA and people will buy it. Yeah. But we know you can't spell the word poles. And then you just said you're an astrophysicist.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm pretty sure
in the middle.
I'm pretty sure Big Hairy Dick champion was not a class in high school that you clearly wrote in crayon with a big A+ and a star by it.
But he's such a just fucking raving sycophant craving for attention to anyone with any kind of fame or money that it's embarrassing. Like I love the story. I think it was Bill Gates talked about a story where he just had a party or whatever, and Donald Trump showed up uninvited in a helicopter to show up, be like, "Oh, Bill Gates party. I'm here in a helicopter," and they're like, "Why?"
Cool. Yeah.
Because that's the thing. That's why I don't believe Donald Trump's wealth value at all. Bill Gates is a literal billionaire, among the richest people in the world. Just wears an ugly sweater and takes like an Uber to places. He doesn't be like, oh, I need to show up in a helicopter because people might forget I'm rich. Like,
yeah, he's like, yeah, I own a house at the center of the earth.
Yeah.
You didn't know about? Like,
he just shows up in a regular car. He said Trump showed up, hit on his daughter, tried to get pictures, like, I'm next to this guy, and then left in his helicopter. Like, oh, what a fucking asshole. Like,
He also
like
took a shit and they're like,
he's not act like you've been there before, rich with money. Like, everything is so gaudy and stupid and has to have his name on it. Like, he's so immaturely rich that, like, I was like, he's got to be worth maybe 200 million tops, saying, if you use Trump's math to adjust what he's worth, like, I'm this many billion. All right, okay, whatever. You see actual billionaires, they just wear a suit, they go to the bank, and they just hang out with their family on their boat or their island or whatever. And they're not, like, just showing up in spaceships. Like, oh, right. I didn't pay the driver, by the way. I'm going to leave before they ask for the money. Because he also never pays for anything.
Yeah, real gangsters shut the fuck up. They don't talk about how gangster they are. You know,
they don't need to show up at celebrity's party to get a stupid picture. See, they like me. I'm with a celebrity.
I got his business card and he took one of mine.
Yeah, he's always like, Brad Pitt. And then they're always like, oh my fucking God, it's Donald Trump.
See that? I paid for breakfast.
Because that's the thing about political Donald Trump. And I don't want to talk about this, but the thing about political Donald Trump, that there's two people who did not know about Donald Trump till he was in politics running for office, and people who have been well aware of who he was since the early 80s when he's been a joke since then. His name has been a joke. He's always been known as a fucking fraud, lying millionaire real estate idiot, cheating people, lying through, cheating on wives. And just, if you knew who he was, what a joke he was in the 80s, none of this is a surprise. All these stories about what just a racist, shallow, hollow fuck he is. And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, I already knew who he was.
Yeah.
Fucking, he's been on TV as a joke since Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a thing.
Yeah.
And that's the era his brain stunk in. And so then there's people who didn't know him before.
Hold on. We'll pause there, not to digress, but I'm sorry. Yeah, finish your point. But I want to come back to Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
Go ahead. That was.
I want to go back to Lifestyles.
That's the first time I thought about that in like years. Think about the concept of that show. It's just like, look how much cocaine and Wall Street.
It's the original Cribs.
Yeah, but even Cribs was kind of like, because a lot of those people that were in those houses, those were like leased houses or advances from the record company, and they were dirt poor.
What's funny is I never even watched Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I just remember shows like Tiny Toons doing parodies of the Robin Leach voice, like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and then they would do it. Like, I never actually watched the real show. So
it's bananas, 80s, just.
Well, it's just rich people being like, I own this tennis court and this car. I am
beautiful
wealthy.
marble toilets and houses.
Yeah, it's a show dedicated to how extravagant rich people live. Like, nice. I wish I had that. All right, well. How does this have more than one season? It's really just for rich people to get intel on other rich people. Be like, okay, so that's what you're sleeping in. Okay, I gotcha. I see you. But no, I really didn't want to get bogged down in politics stuff because, as Brannan pointed out, I don't think it's the show's strong suit, but it's also divisive, tedious, and I'm tired of it from every other aspect in life. But
it's also gay.
It's super gay. I just can't wait for the dust to settle, and I just can't wait for a president who doesn't bother tweeting anything. He just shuts the fuck up.
Someone who does his job. Like, I don't want that.
Obama is like very overrated and mythicized in what we remember about him, but man, he didn't tweet every day. He just every so often came up, just sunk a 3-pointer, go back to bomb in the Middle East or whatever.
Like, that's my
again.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's how do you want to get fucked? What's your flavor?
Yeah.
What is the country flavor of because we're getting fucked by everybody that's in there. What?
Right, armed revolution is the only answer. By the way, we have to fucking Thomas Jefferson said that you gotta water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants. Jefferson wrote in that thing, he estimated that would be necessary about every 20 years. And he was writing the Constitution at the time. He's like, well, within 20 years, an armed revolution will replace us. Like, we're centuries past due. Like, he knew, he was like, yeah, we're fucks. We're like, we still own people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to write this of the people, for the people. And then there's some guys are going to get mad at us over taxing tea, burn this down and write a new one of these. And he was like, yeah, about every 20 years or so, which is a third of our lifetime.
Yeah.
Sorry, half of their lifespan.
Yeah, half. That was
like, all right, next election. Fuck elections. Burn them again.
Yeah, fuck this.
Come back to England.
Yeah. Who do you think is the first state, if we have a revolution? Who do you think is the first state that that starts it? Where does he think the revolution starts at?
Oh, Texas. Texas, 100%.
I can bring up.
No?
I was hoping more of an exotic answer. Like, I want someone to be like North Dakota, and it's like, why? Like, they're fucking tired of the da-da-da, but
it's just Hawaii. Like, it's out there fucking doing their own thing.
I think Hawaii is chill, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why
I bet they're
like.
Would
have been a funny pull.
I'm sure they're terrified.
Ironically based out of Pearl Harbor is the attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one saw it coming.
Yeah, but if you were, an American citizen, I'm sure people are freaking out about what's going on. But at the same time, they're like, we're on an island. I think,
because they live in two extremes. It's a tropical paradise and it's great, or a hurricane or volcano will take us off the map any day.
Right.
Yeah. Like, we have the existential dread of the earth will shift and this island will be gone. Like, this whole island chain is just buried, or a volcano will cover it all in lava.
So maybe I should just chill out and
let's just
enjoy
cook
my
some
time
pigs
while I still have it.
Hula dance and fucking,
pork, lots of Spam, salty meat.
Yeah. Do it. Like,
fucking howlies.
Fucking howlies. Locals only, brah.
All right.
But yeah, the only answer is to you get some lifestyles of the rich and famous up.
Yeah, Nabila. I don't know. I'm just grabbing this at random, so let's see.
Just 1985.
Harbor to accommodate his 370-foot yacht. But despite the super deluxe hotels there, everyone knew the real VIPs would be staying aboard the good ship Nabila with the host. It was friends and family only aboard the yacht, like the host's wife who supervised the lavish extravaganza and constantly choppered from the ship to their 12,000-acre mountaintop retreat.
Can I pause for a second?
This was to be the part.
How cute by today's wealth standards, a 12,000-acre plot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. God, that guy's a multi-millionaire.
Oh yeah, that guy, he owns Rhode Island.
Guy on track. Fucking what's his name? Amazon bald man.
Yeah, Bezos.
He's on track to be a trillionaire.
Oh
yeah. How cute that in 1985. Like, look at his extravagant large boat. Jerry Jones eats that guy on a weekend. Like, it's great to see how quaint Rich was. Like, this is super wealthy then. He has a large computer.
But also, this is the kind of rich that you were talking about Trump, and this is why he falls into this, because these are people gloating about it.
Right.
Yeah, this is like new money, or like they authorized to be on this dumb television show. Yeah. Like real life, like people of royalty and shit like that, they don't go on TV or
he's also
invite
used
TV
to
groups out. They're hanging out with like The Rock in private.
His brain is also in that era where being rich is uncommon enough that makes you famous and cool. Like, no one cares now. Everyone's rich that you've ever heard of. Every athlete now is worth as much as that guy on that show. Like, he's used to, like, I am rich. That makes me special. Like, nah, we don't even fucking care. We write Robert Downey Jr. a $70 million check to be in one Marvel movie. Like, no one. Like, so it's like his brain is still in the 80s where that's special and fancy to, like, ooh, I'm going to go on TV because I own a big boat. Like, who fucking cares?
Nobody cares. All right, let's skip ahead to, let's see what this shit is.
Fuck is this?
Bavaria. All came bearing gifts, but I ask you, what do you give the man who has everything? The Reagan sent a special.
What is she wearing?
An autograph portrait. Well, I gifted him
with
Mean Gene.
I was gonna say
35 homes and global business empire.
That guy's carrying a fucking baby lion.
That's Mean Gene Okerlund. You can't fool me.
Amazing.
Yeah, that lion's gonna eat that child.
Brooke
Shields.
Into the party wing where, like a Mideast version of Henry VIII, Adnan the First brought out
Shut the fuck up. That's not.
Why are they at medieval times dinner and tournament?
Ugh.
Fuck that party. That is like, even if I were invited today to that, like a part of me be like, oh, it sounds good, but then I'd be like, hanging out with with those assholes, like 100% of those people suck.
Yeah.
they just suck.
You have to go to any party and bring a gift. That's going to be a shitty party. It's not a good.
Oh, don't you hate those people? Like,
It's not a good fucking party. I mean, a birthday party, yeah, sure, go ahead. But like,
you know how reluctant we are at like Secret Santa bullshit at your job. You know, you're like $25 minimum. You're like, fuck that shit. You know,
Yeah.
So
No.
you forget and you buy some shit at CVS because you were there getting foot powder or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you give me a foot powder?
40-year-old dumbass guy with pimple nose cream. Guy that laughs at his own fucking punchline still. All right.
I just like that Jason is on this pimple like he's a female character in a teen sitcom.
my date
Is this going to ruin the prom for you?
Wait till my pimple takes off its glasses and becomes hot.
Kelly Kapowski over here. Was that her name? I made that up off the top of my brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I land that? Did I stick the landing? Edit out the part where I wasn't sure about it.
Yeah, and at the part where I was
That's the
insecure
joke.
about
Well,
just,
that'll be in there. I love that we have the running joke of edit that out being in the clip. Now we're gonna edit out me saying the part about it being bit. You know.
All right. So we got caught up on politics and all that. Yeah, you were sick last week. What did you have?
I just felt like shit. Like just one of those. Hadn't been sleeping well. Hadn't been eating. I had no energy to do the thing. I had just hit back some ZQL to fucking take a nap, and I didn't want to be here being like, at the screen the whole time. And I was just like,
I don't know, like weirdly enough, like
I just felt like shit.
It was kind of a lackluster, but I think everyone was just sort of exhausted. Like
Especially the day after that whole election thing, like it was just.
Well,
and I don't want to fucking talk about it. I was just about to go into the Red Mirage scenario, and
the Four Seasons, the landscaping. I mean, that shit is fucking.
That shit was hilarious, though. But
Rudy Giuliani needs to die. Like, there's nothing left for him in this world. America's mayor, man.
What did he do? What was his like? The only thing he's known for, like he was
a mayor during 9/11.
That was it.
Well, he actually did. He did stop
his cousin.
There was the huge like RICO case with the mob, like in the early 80s, that like brought down like a lot of the five families and stuff. So he gets credited as being a hero for like basically stopping the mob. So okay, kudos to him. Then he became a mayor, and
he's a narc.
Nuts.
And
yeah.
9/11 happened while he was in office, and so that made him cool because everything. 9/11 opened. We were all cool with everything in America for a while.
Yeah, but listen. Like, what
he didn't do anything. Like
he basically set it up to where the government is now the mob. Like they absorbed all of the techniques, because you got to think about the ingenuity of mafia, like all of that, but a lot of violence and crime and all of that I get, but like some of the kind of brilliance of the business mindedness and like setting it up is nuts.
I'm also currently in the process.
So it just got absorbed by the government. Yeah. They're just doing that to us, and then taxing us for it.
We should probably
there was some premise I was circling around to about us watching the 66 Batman, and I can't remember what it is now, but we were pretty much on fire that commentary though. Like it's great.
Instead of the 66 Batman, what if it was the 69?
Stop it. The joke was too telegraphed. Too telegraphed. Saw it coming from too far away.
Yeah, that was a rotten apple on the ground that you just happened to kind of trip on. It wasn't even low hanging. It was just rotted, fucking just bleh.
What would it be like if it was the 69 Batman? Would they be sucking each other's dicks?
Yeah, because they were doing that in 66. So who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like that's what Adam West was doing.
Cesar Romero was in it, okay?
Yeah, Cesar Romero was getting cold orange rinds thrown at his asshole. That's the story. Look it up. Google it.
It's in the commentary.
And then Adam West, notches on that motherfucking belt. That utility belt is full of abortion receipts. Like that's all it is. It's just. It's all full. Did I kill it with Batman? Boner? Jesus.
Let the dust settle on that, I guess.
Sorry. Adam West. That's all I was trying to say, guys. He fucked Adam West.
I was trying to think of some other things that happened in the week. It's a week so dominated by politics. It's hard to be like, oh, did you see some movie? I didn't see the new Borat, which is also heavily politics driven.
I did. It was okay.
I didn't like it, but it's also one of the things too. It's the last Borat was actually like the first Borat I thought was fucking hysterical. Like
Sacha Baron Cohen's a fucking genius. Like just his character acting ability is so good.
Yeah, but this one it was like we obviously knew what it was going to be. It was very Trump based and very like.
It's interesting that he basically made it in secret for the most part. Like no one really knew it was coming till just before it came out, and it's interesting how they had to pivot around the fact that everyone knows who Borat is now. Yeah. So he can't really do it as secretly as he did.
That's why I didn't like it, because a lot of the gags weren't as
Borat
as the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original one was like fucking hilarious. It was like watching a Jackass movie. The level of like that deep, weird funny that you can't script, that just natural like.
Because really, Borat and most of Ali G's or Sacha Baron Cohen's characters were just a way to get that to come out of people around him.
Right.
Yeah. The joke was barely him. The joke was he would find the guy and be so innocently foreign that racist people were comfortable matching his racism.
Yeah.
Or just how weird he is.
There was only like one say what you want about the Giuliani scene. I didn't like it. I think Giuliani is still a scumbag, and I will admit that. Like,
that's all that was for. Yeah, for sure.
But like, I feel like it was a little played up to it. I don't know if he purposely was like doing anything. Like, I don't think he was purposely trying to like. I don't think he was going to like pull his dick out. But like, if you ask me my heart of hearts, would he try to fuck her? Absolutely. Like that. He's just a scumbaggy dude. Like he wouldn't pull his dick out, but you know for a fact that like if they kept rolling, he'd be like, so you want to like meet up right now? You want to do it? Like, you know, he would try to make a move. So like, I just think of how they did that was very kind of like, it's a little bit more of that. But like one great scene was that like whenever he was trying to kill himself and he went to the,
I've seen bits and pieces and clips. I haven't like watched it in its entirety.
Oh yeah, no, we won't spoil it.
I heard the girl that plays his daughter is good in it. Like
she's very good. She's a very good actress
in terms of like matching his weird character and stuff.
Yeah,
same kind of energy and
It felt like a very it felt very SNL sketchy, like she did at times, where it was very kind of like too because with Borat, like the whole, like Matt said, like the joke is essentially not him doing the comedy, him being there and like gives the people around him the ability to be racist, and that's where the humor comes in. But like this one, it was like it felt like he purposely had to like make it a little bit more shticky and a little bit more like
it felt more set up.
Like, but that's natural. Also like I understand that because like you're known, like you can't make a Borat movie.
I mean that's why the Ali G show had to come to America in the first place, because in the first season or whatever was in England, and then it worked there, and then everyone knew who he was, so he came to America and did 2 seasons here. But at that point, people knew who he was, so he did the Borat movie and all that. That's why when he did his This Is America show, he had to do all new characters who were also great characters. That was a really good show.
Yeah.
He got I can't remember, some guy in Georgia government around here fired from that show, where the dude resigned because of what an ass he made himself on that show.
Yeah.
Like yelled the N-word or what
was it? A lot, because it's this character that's supposed to be like a counterterrorism specialist. He was like, I spent 8 years in the Masood. I mean, I did not spend 8 years in the Masood. And then he was like, he teaches like, what does the terrorist fear more than anything? Gay porn. He makes it like a field of 2 guys fucking and holding out pork and like waving it around to defend themselves from terrorist attacks. And like he makes them do this shit, and they do it. They don't go, wait, what? It's insane. And that character, like he has a big ass prosthetic forehead and nose. He looks like a goddamn Frankenstein. But yeah, it's just he became so known, and then the Borat sequel, Borat's such, that was such a meme here for the longest time that he had to like sneak even harder under the radar.
I don't like those sequels that are like 14, 15 years after the fact. It's always like too little too late. It's like
also, Sacha Baron Cohen's good enough. He could have made another Borat style movie with a new character. Like because I mean, and I think Borat's even at his strongest in the Ali G show. If you ever watch some of those old episodes, like dude is fucking fearless, man. And the degree to which he can hold character under duress and keep pressing further is insane.
Yeah.
He did some shit as Bruno that just blows my mind. Like I was like, dude, this guy's gonna get killed.
that like Hunter, like the camp that he was at the end when he was like sneaking into the tents in the middle of the night. All those like,
I mean, was it Bruno where he actually interviewed a terrorist in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, your King Osama looks like a homeless wizard or a sad Santa Claus or a dirty Santa Claus or something. And the guy like looks at the camera and they translate it. They're like, interview it, we gotta go. As just an incredibly flamboyant gay man. I was like, dude, this guy. I will always respect Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, this shit is so strong.
I've respected him for wanting to make that piece of shit Bohemian Rhapsody movie better.
Yeah,
like he left when it wasn't interesting, and then they just turned it into a piece of shit, just like regular biopic. Like Freddie Mercury's life was way more fascinating, and there was a lot of dark areas and stuff. And that's what Sasha wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, I want to see that film.
Yeah,
and not the seen it a million times like biopic. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you brought up SNL skitty, Brandon. Did you see Chappelle's? Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit.
I did. I watched that. I also I saw the sketch about firing the black mascot.
Ben, yeah.
It was a joke I wrote forever ago about Count Chocula counting as one of the black mascots, and they did it. I was fucking mad about that. I was like, I caught up with me, my Count Chocula shit.
So I watched it, and I was trying to make it through the whole thing, and like some of it's funny, but also there's like a lot of. All right, here's my 2 cents from somebody that is clearly not a writer or successful or anything like that in this realm. I'm gonna say his 2 fucking cents because who gives a shit. But anyway, there was a sketch after it was the Super Mario memories.
I didn't see that one.
No, okay, so it was about all these people like, oh, first time I played Super Mario, it was great, and da right. Mm-hmm. And then the next skit is these 2 guys going like, yeah, and then the joke or the premise was something really grotesque can happen to his friend's balls, and he keeps bringing it up, and he's like being bummed. He's like, stop bringing it up. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
And then they go to Keenan. Is it Keenan?
Yeah.
After that, but his whole joke was like, why am I following these guys? It's crazy. Why am I following these guys? That was the whole joke, and I was like, that's such a waste of him. Like the premise is funny, like. Yeah, these guys have this grotesque ball accidents injury, right? Go to Keenan. Go to Keenan, and then he's just like, "What the fuck was that?" Like, okay. And then the next time around, he feels compelled to make up his own ball story, but then he's making it up, and it gets more ridiculous. So the ball story keeps. Anyway, I guess watch this skit. I guess you had to be there because I'm not explaining it very.
No, I saw the opening monologue. And I saw the firing the mascots bit because I'm very off and on with SNL. I do hope we get a lot more Jim Carrey as Joe Biden. That'll be great if we get a lot more of that.
Yeah, it's like Fire Marshal Bill 2.
Yeah, because I've missed Jim Carrey. He kind of vanished for a while and he went on a lunatic phase. Like when he popped back up for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I was like, "Hey, they made him like a '90s character, Jim Carrey again." I miss because I always like Jim Carrey just as a straight actor, even when he's not doing comedy. I just.
Did you guys see the Comedy Store doc?
That sounds. No. When did that come out?
No,
just recently.
Oh no, I haven't seen a recent one. I want to say there was an older one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but like the Comedy Store one with me is like. It's funny because like I like knowing the history of the Comedy Store and like seeing all that stuff, but like it's weird because like as I know people who worked in that like grew up with it and like they started like Ari Shaffir and all them like they're like their point of view on the Comedy Store is so hilarious and this sort of like because the Comedy Store was big and booming in the 70s. It was just
well, that's what the documentary's about. And that's what Jim Carrey brought it because he's in it a lot. Yeah. Him. Damon Wayans, like
I mean, when Jim Carrey actually did stand up, that was a long time ago, even of itself. Like,
but like when you see it, but it's like then there was that era of like late '90s, early 2000s where like stand up was kind of dead. Like,
It
existed, but the boom was gone.
Right. And
where it kind of popped back up. But like, it is so funny because he would say that like Ari like would tell stories of just being like, there's no one like on a Tuesday night. No, like you have 4 people, but like if you go like pre-COVID, obviously, but like if you went any day of the week, it's sold out. Like it's a huge booming place. But he's like, I had to go through this shit. So he's like, so these assholes who are like, oh, I love the Comedy Store. I got started at Comedy Store. He's like, you didn't get started anywhere. He's like, I was like literally there when there was 4 fucking people, and I had to like do my shitty spot, and I had to leave.
Yeah, comedy clubs are weird at this point because like there was like too many of them at one point because you have like there should only be 5 in the whole country.
There was a bubble.
The Comedy Store, but then like all the cities have theirs because so many people want to do stand up, but there's more interest in doing comedy than there are audiences for it. And the comedy club itself is just kind of a dying thing that needs to die and go away, except for the 3 that matter, because you can't come up in them anymore. Like,
well, I think
if you're good enough to fill a comedy club, you're usually good enough to fill a theater, and you don't bother with a comedy club.
Or you're on the road, or you're opening for a big tour. Yeah.
Like Kansas City, I don't think. Oh, Dustin opened the one comedy club now in the where Stanford, to fill in the gap left by Stanford's, and I think it's cool. And I
think he's running it better though.
Absolutely. But he also was a comedian first.
So he gets it. Yeah.
He's been running shows even before he did that, but. Stand-up comedy is in such a weird place. It's kind of like with movies where, especially COVID's kind of revealed, like, we don't really need movie theaters and we don't really need comedy clubs, but it's weird because you have to have there's that missing middle step of, I want to be a comedian. I do some local places. I've done some comedy. I write some stuff. How do I transition from that to being able to have an audience for the big floor? That's where comedy clubs kind of filled, but they don't really fill that anymore because no one really comes.
No one does, but also no one does it like curating the audience too.
Right. Because
you're approaching it from the person that wants to do the art.
Right.
The other one, like a comedy store, the other fascinating about this documentary kind of fits like Mitzi's way of cultivating and sort of crafting them to where everybody that's performing is just crushing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people get turned off when they're going to
when there's 48
when 100% of your repertoire is like open micers, basically. Right. Like, it's like,
and it's just tiresome there. Yeah. Cause I mean, the most traction, cause I was doing, I cut my teeth in Kansas City because where I was in Texas, there were no real comedy clubs and I wasn't writing at the time. And I learned really fast that Kansas City was, a benefit I didn't even realize was you can get in that middle and headline phase way earlier than you have any business doing. Because it was such a small, shallow pool that you could rise up really fast. Because, I mean, in Chicago or whatever, you're going to be there 5 years, 2 years, 3 years before they let you have those big spots. But, yeah, the audience isn't there looking for it because also it's just so oversaturated with mediocrity. The most traction we got when we were really building pace was when me and Matt were doing Straight Outta Comic-Con because it was a weird place for stand-up. And a lot of people who weren't even necessarily stand-up fans, but like the idea of stand-up would see us at the con and come see us. And I mean, for a while, we had a bigger following in Spokane, Washington than we had in Kansas City. Like, we had like a legitimate fan base that we could have moved there. But yeah, so it's weird because the comedy club is almost unnecessary and stand-up has to find new places to do things because the club is like being forced to exist. And at some point, there's going to be a push where the internet somehow replaces it. I don't really know. Zoom stand-up comedy. I don't know.
So I'm kind of butt in on that, like right now. Like that's sort of where we are anyways, where it is essentially like the internet. If we're being honest, like not Zoom comedy shows.
No, I was being,
but I'd say, but like the internet has like kind of replaced stand-up as an art. Like,
I mean, this podcast is what I'm doing instead of an open mic tonight.
That's exactly what I mean. Like, it's like this has now replaced open mics, and it's replaced like showcases.
Now there's too many shitty podcasts. So.
Yeah, that's an overabundance of podcasts. But it like, kind of going back to like what Matt said, like. I think, however, that there is a hindrance of coming up so quick because, like, I was a feature for so long. Like, it just got to a point where you just kind of just get tired because it's like you're no longer opening, but you're not closing anymore. You're not headlining, so you don't have that money, and you also don't have that like success. And you know, as a middle, you're also not a successful person. Like you don't have you have like 3 or 4 people who
can't pay the rent on it. Like,
yeah. So like I just got kind of burnt out, and that was kind of like I felt like my biggest hindrance is like when I started falling off was because it was that like you just get burnt out. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I love still like I would be more than happy to open in like middle time because it's like hey, I go in, do my jokes, leave, can go smoke a cigarette in the patio and have a good time. But like it does after a while just get to a point where you're like, no one gives a fuck about me.
It's
like I'm
weird
just a middle guy. Like
it's this weird elusive hunt for the right room and the right audience. Because this is the thing that happened, like I said, was straight out of Comic-Con a lot. And just every so often we were able to book like a weird college show. And the thing in Kansas City is you get used to, I do this club a lot. I know these owners. I know the regulars who watch all the shows. And you get a feel for like, I know this crowd. I know these people. I mean, we would just be in like fucking North Carolina at I've never even been to that state. And 100 people in the room losing their minds because the show's just because me and Matt always had this thing where like before every show it went exactly like this. We're gonna get our shit together, and we had dumb sketches and props. You know, it was a whole thing. And we would kind of start getting like, how much of the set are we gonna do? How much of the show? And he would just look at me and go, "This is gonna suck. We're about to tank." And I'm like, "Damn it, stop doing that." And I'm like, "I know." And then as soon as we get going, he would go on stage and we do the first bit, and I would like look at him from off stage, kind of shrug. He'd look over and he's like, "You know what? I forgot we're pretty good at this." And those were always the best shows, and they were just on fire. There was this energy to it, and like that's how you build a following because that crowd keeps that fire when they remember you and see you more. And it's that constant search for that crowd and building that crowd everywhere you go.
Right, and because those people are collectively like-minded already because they're at a place. So you're doing that,
and they like you. It's not that they like stand-up because the goal isn't people who like stand-up. It's people that like you.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the people that follow you if you go on to TV, if you go on to doing plays, if you just become a social media personality. The people who like you are what you need. And that's what you find. And that's what we do college show. And that's what wasn't at Stanford's and that's what you're looking for is that crowd. And every so often we would just have a crowd where we killed and it was a giant. I remember seeing people out the back and I was like, never had a show like this. Fucking GMX was insane. That one had a cosplay diss battle in it at that stupid event. But I digress. The point is comedy clubs are kind of needing to die off because I don't know what they do anymore.
Well, I think every city should have the improv or the corporate kind of the big chain, right?
No, there needs to be one of those 5 that it's like
one of those for the birds.
Tournaments have just the Big 12, and that's what produces stand-up comedy.
and then have another location that's more of like the downtown small, maybe 300-seater or something, 500-seater, something like that, right? Like one of those like nice old theaters. Have one of those. That's all you need.
Yeah, because there's not really the club owner gets to this point where they're worried about paying the rent and selling drinks at a certain point and don't really care what they put on the stage as long as that's filled. Right. So they'll let an open mic
for the room.
Yeah, they'll let an open mic have 50 people go up. If each of those people bring 10 people, they're like, fine, that covers expenses for the night. I don't care what the experience is for those people or how miserable it is. All I needed was to get 50 people, 2-drink minimum. Math.
Math.
And instead of being able to cultivate a place where people want to go, and that happens naturally no matter who's there, but that requires having kind of a bar of entry of a level of quality assurance that, I mean, Craig, the Glazers in general had, much like we said earlier, their brain stuck in the 80s. They had no idea what stand-up comedy even was anymore. They didn't know who, they were still like, Roseanne Barr was like, she hasn't done stand-up in fucking ages.
25 years, yeah.
Like, that's not the meter anymore. Like, have you even heard of John Mulaney at this point? Like, you're still telling me about Larry the Cable Guy. Young Larry the Cable Guy. And they were like, they'd talk about Robin Williams. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, I get it, man. But like, these are all Coke flashbacks that they were having. That's what it is. That's
because in their brain, it's still 1987. They haven't caught up.
That party has not stopped since then.
No.
The body is dying, but it's like,
they're in the Matrix up there, man. But yeah, I have not watched the documentary, I guess, to answer the question.
It's really good. Jim Carrey's in it a lot.
And I love Jim Carrey, yeah.
And it's really good. So if you can, or get somebody's login, check it out. It's really good. Or get the free trial, like 30-day trial, and remember to cancel it. Yeah, get that. That's what I did. So I got Showtime again because the first time around it was the Wu-Tang documentary. Why is that funny? Why is Wu-Tang funny?
It's just funny to say. It's
just so hilarious. Just be like, I bought Showtime because the Wu-Tang Clan told me, and then I bought it because Jim Carrey told me. And it's just like, how do you have these differing idols? Like,
I've also just never been a big documentary person. Like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I watch them, sometimes I don't. I've never been one of those people who likes documentaries as a genre or an art form. Like,
yeah. Well, it's either that or reading, and fuck reading. You know, that's how I guess kind of how I look at them. It's like I read a book, but it was pretty pictures. And
I think it's that I spent too long. I got too comfortable in depression at one point, and I'm okay with listening to nothing.
By 9 Inch Nails.
Because a lot of people be like, "Well, I listen to podcasts," or people who just because in lieu of anything, you just watch something.
Yeah,
I'm way too good at open Netflix, close it, and just work on something in silence. Or I guess I go to I'm just.
Oh, that's.
I got too close to the void, and I don't need to fill it. I should fill it,
dude.
But I would like to fill it, but I don't know with what. So it's like when you're hungry. But you're like, I don't know what I want to eat, so I just won't. Like, I got that close to nothingness, and now I still have that. So I didn't keep up with the Netflix. I didn't care about Tiger King. I'm too used to nothing.
That's kind of brilliant. Like, I think you're becoming a whole. I think you're finding the truth.
Right, but it hollows.
You're becoming
you become numb to death and despair. Like you're
right.
ready.
What I'm saying, that's a terrifying journey, but you're becoming a Zen master. You understand this, right?
No, he's not. You're a fucking serial killer. You're a fucking sociopath.
Like it's just, but it's only towards myself. Like it's only internalized, and it's depression. It's the pearl that depression creates inside that presses down. And it's a cracked diamond worth nothing.
But the diamond is just a fucking big gulp in a hot dog.
No, it's being very opinionated about CC's Pizza.
That's
what I've been trying to crawl out of for 2.5 years now. Like it's a journey, but yeah, that's one of the reasons because so many people are like, oh, I watch all these documentaries with my downtime. It's like, oh, with downtime, I just did nothing. I just looked forward.
But I guess I'm looking at that grass is always greener because I'm kind of envious of that.
Because it's the seventh ring.
Because I'm I feel like I have too much that I want to slow down and
because a lot of stuff I could have been doing also.
Yeah.
True.
No,
I spent way too long sleeping on an air mattress, hiding behind the word Spartan to describe my lifestyle. Not much going on in this. Yeah, I live very Spartan.
I'm very bohemian.
Yeah, exactly. Those words are poison, man. You gotta just be like, oh no, I just don't own furniture.
Wow, Matt, you live like a bohemian poet. I'm so glad you noticed that me being an artist.
I live like Conan in a cave with nothing, just rocks.
Yes, I look like a junkie without the actual drugs.
Yeah.
I love the idea.
I can't tell if that's human or animal poop over in that corner. I haven't been able to figure it out for 6 months, but I'm fascinated by the process of watching it decay.
You're like, no, I'm just living that caveman lifestyle. I'm just getting rid of all things I don't need. Caveman lifestyle. You just hit that wall where you reach a Buddhist level of, okay, I got to reevaluate this because I realize that I'm staring back at myself now. No, but it's also funny because you have that moment too of just being I need to change things, but then also you have to look around and see that not only do you have nothing, but the things you do have are empty wrappers, and you're like, this definitely is the right. And then you're just I don't even know. And then Corona happens, and you're like, oh, going outside isn't an option, and everything you've also ever been interested in is null and void anyway. So, so what do I even do? And then here we are on a podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then you start doing navel gaze real hard.
Yeah, you just.
I've done it through that. I've done it throughout.
And most people replace that with podcasts. Was my point, or documentaries, and so that's why I haven't got caught up on them.
Yeah, I do.
Tired of podcasts. Like, I'll listen to like one or two every now and then, but like, I just got.
Like I said, it's if there's people I like. I don't like podcasts, but I like certain people, and if I'll listen to them. Like, even then, it's sporadic. Yeah, well, even the people I like they're like, oh, they like. There's like so many Rogan podcasts I really want to listen to, like that have people on it, but I'm just like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I don't want to hear like you get so kind of just like used to like kind of like not even used to. Matt's was used to nothing, but like mine was just used to like. I just want to remember when I could live. So that's why I'm just playing music from 2019. Cause it's like, oh, I remember this song when in 2019, when I was out hanging out, when I could go places. Yeah. But
dude, so we lost James Bond and fucking Alex Trebek.
That's
we lost an entire SNL sketch.
Has anybody got dibs like eyes on Will Ferrell? Like, is he being monitored? Is he in a
safe location? What was it? What did he die from? Was it pancreatic cancer or
Sean Connery? Also from just being 180 years old.
No, Trebek. Because I know Trebek had cancer and then like it went away, but did it come back or something?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? But what did Connery do besides just be old as shit? Do you remember that Barbara? Sorry, this is gonna be a jump. But do you remember that Barbara Walters interview where he was just like, "Yeah, I fucking hit a bitch. What are you gonna do about it?" And Barbara's like, "We don't like that." And he's like, "Yeah, suck my dick. I'm Sean Connery."
But here's my argument with that: the guy's 190,000 years old. Of course, he thinks that way. Why are we so offended?
That's
like
the definition of being a product of a time.
Yeah, your grandpa at the kitchen at the Thanksgiving dinner like spouts off and goes. It's just. Do you have relatives that do that?
Yeah, because that's the era. I love the joke of that era of like movies and pop culture where women would be hysterical in scenes and the guy has to just shake her because women get hysterical. And he's like the calm man with 4 cigars in his mouth and a glass of scotch and just punches her in the face like stop it, bitch! Like.
Yeah, there was legit.
That's what Sean Connery's from.
In James Bond movies, he does like yellow face. He dresses as a Japanese man to like get into. Which one was that?
Oh, I don't even remember.
I know Mickey Rooney did something pretty like.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't age well, but back then it was just like, oh yeah.
Also, Sean Connery died in Nassau in the Bahamas. So, way to pick your spot. Like,
oh, that's a good dude. That's dope.
He died on Halloween, October 31st, 2020, in the Bahamas.
R.I.P.
90
That's
years
the way
old.
to do it. Look, I get it. I disagree with his stance on hitting women.
Yeah, as a casual form of interaction of like.
But also, I would like to just know, like, I mean, what did she say? You know what I mean?
Connery died in his sleep. He died in his sleep. October 31st.
Right. So he died in his sleep. He died in the Bahamas.
On Halloween.
That's the best way to go. That's the best way to go. Because
what an inconvenient trick-or-treating, by the way. Like, sorry, I got to answer the door again. I'll be right back. Like, the kids just keep...
I think I spot a ship ashore. I can't even do it. That was a terrible impersonation.
His death was announced by his family at EM Production. Although they did not disclose the cause of death, his son Jason stated that he had been unwell for some time. A day later, Connery's wife said that he had dementia in his final years.
Oh, that's not fun. That's rough. Because he was been quiet for a while. Like
he retired.
He retired after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, he was like, I'm good.
Yeah, he was like, this movie's a piece of shit. I think I've done enough of these. I'm out.
Yeah.
I kind of had fun with it.
They tried to get him in the 4th Indiana Jones, and he was like, nah.
Nah.
But it's funny, they had like there's a scene in the 4th Indiana Jones where they like have like a picture of, Indy talks about his dad, and it's just like clearly a Sean Connery headshot. Like it's got the watermark from his agency, like in the bottom corner. They just found
CAA,
whatever. Like, and he's like, my dad. It's like just a Sean Connery headshot. It's not even in character.
It's from Zardoz.
Yeah.
He's in that red diaper from Zardoz. This is my dad.
This is one of his James Bond headshot stills or whatever.
I think we need to do that. Everybody needs. Okay, we'll print them out. Everybody needs that picture.
Picture of him from Dragonheart, where he was just the voice of a dragon.
That's my dad.
That's my dad.
He's a dragon.
God, could you imagine if the dude from Zardoz was your dad, though? What would your life be like?
And then he gave birth to Harrison Ford, who gave birth to Shia LaBeouf in that chronology of characters.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's a pretty solid gene pool. If Sean Connery truly gave birth to Harrison Ford, and then Harrison Ford gave birth to Shia LaBeouf, like that's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid gene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Indiana kind of went off the rails there then a little bit, like Shia. Actually, I do like Shia LaBeouf. He's kind of won me back.
Indiana Jones didn't hook up with like a celebrity wife. It was the chick who played Marion, whose only other movie was Marion. So that was kind of one arm behind his back pulling that one out.
Yeah,
because it's not like he had like a Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. Like, all right, got it. He just had girl who played Marion that was kind of hot in the 80s or whatever. Which also, by the way, never put together till recently. I say put together like I realized it and wasn't told. Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark committed statutory rape. Did you know that?
What did he do to Short Round? What did he do to Short Round?
He had a fling with Marion Ravenwood 5 years before the action of that movie. And her age, as presented, she would have been 15 at the time when they talk about that era.
Oh.
And
but it was also in the 40s, though.
And George Lucas and Spielberg even said for it to fit the idea of the character, she couldn't have been fully a realized 18-year-old because he was her father's teacher assistant at the time when he was an up-and-coming professor, and that's how they met. So
that's even weirder.
Indiana Jones, I was like, that's just in the movie. And that was brought to my attention. I was like, I missed that whole thing. Holy fuck. That's not okay.
That's not okay, but it's also fucked up. Like it kind of goes back to this whole thing of like, now that Biden's elected, we can look back, we can have those kind of moments of being like, oh my God, like 4 years ago, what the fuck were we thinking? But
what about Biden makes that the impetus to think that?
What was that?
I said, what is it about Biden that is the impetus to think about that?
No. You're
Did he sit America down and give us a talking to?
No. I just meant like more of like, now that like Biden's elected, you can have that kind of recollection of looking back the last 4 years and be like, what the fuck were we thinking?
I've been asking that for 4 years. For 8 years.
But then like, what I'm trying to say is like, you go back even further and then you're like, oh yeah, fucking a 15-year-old in the 40s when you were 30 was just kind of like what dudes do. Like you could still buy like children with like.
That's how back then you wrote a charming rogue.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is, Matt. That was the one for the unsolicited version of him bringing it up, but couching his language and not saying it directly.
To be fair, I brought it up. I brought up statutory rape. He did it. I put it on the table, and I'd like to shout out to Brannan to not worsening it.
Yeah.
See?
I inadvertently brought it up in Indiana Jones trivia, and he only commented on the context at present and did not take it to and actually made it about pop culture in general.
Good point. Very good.
And I made it.
Remember that next time you accuse me of bullying you.
Who, me or Jason?
Of the two of you, who have accused me of bullying you? Who has used that as a defense? Do we need 4 people for there to be balance and parity? Is that how it works? Like, is the 4th person what keeps us from just getting antagonistic after too long, or is that just
no? 3 also works.
The lack of a topic also hurts us. We're very this is like our interdimensional cable episodes where there's not a script or like a real core.
I want to shout out Jason because I just realized this too. I've missed an episode. Dan's missed a couple episodes. Matt missed an episode. You're the only one with the Iron Man streak currently.
I don't want to go too deep behind the curtain. The episodes can't happen without Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's behind
You
the
guys
wheel.
could just do Skype and just record it, and then just send me the video, and I'll put it out.
To also, fucking side note to try to indicate who is Scraggly Beard Man. I just remembered, speaking of my roommate, I was gonna have him retell the story of the man trapping himself in his car at some point.
Shit, yeah.
Yes,
I have an update to that. That guy was they found his charges. It was 2 counts of breaking with intent to do crime because he broke into 2 cars, and loitering with some variation. God, I can't remember the exact charges now, but they looked him up after the fact, and he was 2 like counts of breaking and entering with intent to do crime.
Did they ever figure out what? Like, did they get a statement from him?
Not that we could find. They found like his Facebook profile. His name was something. Can we say name? I guess it's on the internet.
Well,
His last name was Sample, and that's just funny to me, or something like that. Where it's a word that's like, was that like a sample picture? Like,
Yeah.
But so he was charged with 3 crimes that are not necessarily light crimes. I don't know what the bail on that is, but. So don't wander into cars and lock yourself inside it. I don't remember. I'll have to get him. I'll have to ask.
It's all misdemeanor. Like, he's fine. Like, he probably had to like pay like about like I mean like I've never bailed like $100, $200.
Do you have a misdemeanor?
No, I just have traffic tickets. I'm a bitch. Like, I don't fucking like. I wish I had 1 crime under my belt so I could be like, I at least know what like
DUI, which is like the shittiest crime of all. It's just really
that's not. Yeah, that just means you're a dick.
It just means I couldn't eat my McDonald's in the car.
Yeah,
on the way home, and I got pulled over, and
there might have been some trespassing.
I was out of like $2,500 and a bunch of bullshit.
Was that really what it was? You got busted because you were eating McDonald's and just like kind of were swerving around? That's man.
Those fries, man. I just reached in and went over and burp, and then I was like, oh yeah, I am over the limit. Sorry. But I'm literally 2 miles from my house. Motherfucker. Anyway.
Come on. Yeah.
I'm trying to find that.
Don't do it.
There's like, intent to commit. They can be entering with intent to commit theft is a thing. I'm trying to find what they actually rank as in Georgia. But he got a handful of. So that was to bring closure to that story. He was charged with 3 crimes.
Well,
and maybe don't walk up to someone and ask, "Are you alone?"
Yeah, that's
pro tip to people that aren't criminals.
That would have been a whole different crime, and that would have been bumped to the top of the pile if that.
Yeah, just
that
not, hey, you alone? Like, not a good opener, not a good icebreaker. And good criminals will know better than to do that.
Yeah,
like it's just a loser move.
Real gangsters, shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah, act like you've been there before. That's the rule to everything. I got told that to my face before I went on stage to buy a headliner, and I was like, that's stuck in my brain now. That was a corrective life lesson by someone steps ahead of me at one point, of just kind of being a little weird at a show and just being a little immature, goofy, dicking around in the green room. Got told, act like you've been there before, and I was like, oh shit. That was it. It's one of those things where you're told with a tone where like, those words are important right now.
Yeah, like
my brain's gonna write that down.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's just one of those like growth moments where some guy who fucking drove from Illinois to be here and got paid $250 dadded me. Like,
that's good. That's good.
Sorry, got told he would be paid $250 a night and probably got paid $100 for the whole week if I know Craig Glazer. So
yeah. Well, that's at least you got like an actual lesson from it, because the only thing close to I have that is Rich Voss told me he was gonna fuck my mom.
And then he did.
Yeah, so here we are. Papa Voss. No.
The Voss man, if you will.
Yeah.
Fuck me. All right. I can't separate a show from a business meeting. Sorry, it's too lax.
Who was the guy that looked like a Chad?
Jason. Because and then I don't think of Jason as blonde, but we're all so brown hair, light brown comes out as blonde.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And they'll use descriptors. But yeah, that was it. Is we should have them come on and do like a name game and try to guess who's who. Like,
that's fun. Yeah.
We'll play Guess Who with us.
Well, the only comments we're getting was Matt, your comment, and then porn ads.
Yeah, I commented. I had to weigh in on mayonnaise looking at the last episode because I wasn't here to weigh in on mayonnaise, which I don't like mayonnaise nor Miracle Whip. I think they're both disgusting. So I was on whatever, I forget whose team was mayo or anti-mayo.
I think I was the only. I think I was the only Miracle Whip person. I think I was on the island alone. Like you hated me on that one. You were just like,
I hate both, but also with mustard, I only like yellow mustard. I don't like brown and Dijon mustard. So
all right. Well,
I'm on an island there. So.
Yeah, now I have to edit that shit and put it in the last episode.
Well, that's why I commented, so for posterity would have it. We could have segments that are Fairweather friends and friends.
Yeah.
Or bring on
the friends and friends. Whether we're friends and enemies, like anybody you just hate that you want to like bury the hatchet with, that you want to hatch it out.
Honestly, yeah, that would be actually pretty great. That would be pretty great. Like just burying the hatchet, or just finding a friend that, or like an enemy or a former enemy, and you create a new enemy out of them again. You're like, we're gonna up our enemy.
Bury the hatchet,
double down,
dig it right back up.
Yeah.
Dig up the hatchet.
Yeah,
you
invite him in. You think you're going to get along, and we're both simpatico, and then you bring up some blackmail evidence and just totally embarrass them, and drive that deeper. It's like, yeah, no, but seriously, fuck you.
We got to get to where we can support a Patreon to keep using these Fairweather Friends name jokes, like Fairweather Friends and Family as one tier.
Fairweather Friends and Family. If you sign 4 more, we're just creating a.
Yeah, then we are Fairweather Friends with benefits, so we have the tiers and like Fairweather Friends and Associates.
If you sign,
Fairweather Friends and Coworkers.
Fairweather Friends and Acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances. Yeah. Yeah. Well, boys,
covered a lot of topics today.
I think
I think it's good. I think we're doing well work.
I love just being like, I think it's great.
I think it's great. I think this is a solid time to have a good outro moment. Something funny where you go out with a bang.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Real gangsters, shut the fuck up.
Act like you've been there before. Play the music. Brannan needed a line, but we didn't have
Yeah.
I didn't have anything.
You said that, and then that was like one of the name of the episode is either going to be Act Like You've Been There Before or Real Gangster Shut the Fuck Up. Like those will be the mottos of the episode. And then we didn't have a third one for Brannan to use. So,
well, I had a third one, but apparently Jason gets bothered by it.
Right?
Oh, man, suck.